Hey folks, welcome back to the Lone Pine Tarot. I'm so glad to see you all here on the channel today for today's tarot reading, which, as you can see by the title down below, is What is Ready to Change in Your Life. So if there's been maybe an area of stagnancy in your life that you've been wanting some movement on, this is a perfect reading to gain insight as to what's going to change next. Without further ado, let us pick our piles. We're picking with flowers today. So for my pile number ones over here on the left, we have the Honeysuckle, sometimes known as the Woodbine. For my pile twos, we have the Primrose. And for my pile number threes, we have Hyacinth. So pile ones, Honeysuckle. Pile twos, Primrose. And pile threes, Hyacinth. Feel free to pause on this part of the video if you still need some time to decide what pile you would like read for you today. I always recommend my viewers just to go with their first gut instinct or tap into your intuition a little bit, see which one calls to you when you close your eyes and, you ask for answers, right? Just ask your spirit guides, hey, what pile do you think I should pick today? 1, 2, or 3? Either way, though, whatever your method, whenever you are ready, drop down to the description box below or the top pinned comment. The timestamps for the readings are there. Click on your reading, and I will see you in our discussion about what is ready to change in your life. Bye. Hello there, my beautiful pile number ones, my Honeysuckle pile. Welcome to your Pick a Card reading today on the topic of what's ready to change in your life. Of course, we have your pile leader we just saw in the intro right here. I'm going to set that over here next to the pine cone as usual. And of course, we already have some oracle cards I drew. We'll reveal those in a moment. And now I'm going to draw your tarot cards on screen. So Spirit, for my lovely pile number ones, could you give me about 5 different tarot cards explaining more about what's ready to change in their life? Thank you, please. For their highest, best good. Oh boy. Okay, there's one. We have the 3 of Wands reversed. Okay, 1. And that one for sure. Number 2. 3, 4, and that one was kind of coming out with it, so I will pick that one as well. Alright, let's unveil your cards, pile number ones. What is ready to change? So from the Tea Leaf Fortune cards today, you received, key, successful outcome to your problems. Well, that's always good to hear, right? Especially if something's been kind of stuck for a while. Maybe there's been a locked door and you've sitting there twiddling your thumbs like, well, wait a minute. Where's the key for this? I really want to open this door, but feels like the key is just out of my grasp. Talk about that more in a second here. Beautiful. From the Woodland Wardens Oracle, you received, the bee and pomegranate productivity. Of course, with bees, we always think of them as busy bees, right? Hard at work at the hive, collecting pollen and making honey. Set that one up here. There we go. Then from the Ask Your Guides Oracle today, you received, beautiful. She's almost like, it's almost like archery, like the moon is her bow and she's shooting an arrow here. We have leadership. Bit of a theme coming through. I feel like there's some area of your life where there's going to be space opened for you to step up, pile number ones, but we'll talk about more when we have all the cards on the table, of course. And then from the Nature's Whispers Oracle today, you received Let Love Be Your Beacon, number 42. Gorgeous. Put that one over here. And actually, it's a little awkward because my big pine cone here is kind of angling that, so we're actually going to move that for the readings today. We'll set the pine cone maybe back here. There we go. And then let's unveil your tarot cards. So first up, we have the 10 of Cups, happily ever after, beautiful emotional fulfillment. Gorgeous card to get. Then we have the Devil reversed, freeing ourselves from the things that bind us. Also a fantastic card to get. You're getting really great cards, pile number ones, across the board already. Number 3, we have the 5 of Cups. So that can sometimes mean like sadness or grief, but sometimes it can also mean like, if all of our cups are spilled, sometimes there's another cup behind us that we haven't looked around to see that's still full. Or, like, it's almost kind of like a silver lining, sometimes overcoming grief in a way. Like, all seems lost, but not quite, really. It's like a glimpse of hope after some darkness. Then we have the card of Judgment. Okay, so spiritual awakening. Sometimes that means. It can also mean something about progressing forward more with lessons or growth or spirituality. Of course, it's just beautiful. We have the Northern Lights here. And last but not least, we have that Three of Wands reversed. Okay, that was the one that we pulled out or flipped out earlier. Let's see, how would I interpret this Three of Wands? Well, typically it's about moving forward with plans into the future. Reversed, I would read it as maybe there's a little bit of hesitation in some area of your life so far up till this point about moving forward with a project. Okay, so I'm going to just take a quick sip of my lavender chamomile tea, pile number 1, as I look over your cards and put together your message. So just apologies for one moment of silence here as I take a sip. What is ready to change? Well, pile number 1's for sure. The first thing that really pops out to me off the bat is we have a lot of cards surrounding being productive, around success, around being a leader, like your leadership card says. We also have a lot of cards around like the future, especially that Three of Wands reversed, and satisfaction after a time of having felt bound in some way. I feel like there's an area of your life, and I think for most of you, it's either with your career or something that you've been working on similarly, something that you do day to day, right? Even if it isn't technically like your job or your career. Something you've been working on day to day that has felt stagnant for a while. And like I said before when we pulled out your key, which is like successful outcome to a problem, right? It's like you've been staring at this door for a long time and you're like, okay, I'm ready, let's open the door. But the problem is that so far up until the point of now in your life, you've never really been given that key by the universe to unlock that door and go forward with it. You know, it could be even that it's like a hobby that you might want to turn into like a business of some sort. So it's been there, it's been present, but it's not really moved on to the next stage. Or if this is your career pile number 1s, if that applies to you, it's like you're ready to move up onto the next level in the hierarchy in terms of like responsibilities, perhaps, or you're ready to move on to like a new, more leadership-oriented position with your job. But once again, it's like, oh, that door has been in my way. I feel so blocked. However that applies to you, pile number 1s. No matter how, the answer is the change that is ready to come through for you is finally you're going to get that key to unlock that door. And it's going to be a time of your life of a lot more productivity. Like we said here, that was literally the key word with the bee and the pomegranate, right? Bees are animals that are hard at work, right? Or insects, I should say, technically. Hard at work. They're busy bees. They collect the pollen. They collect the honey. They're always associated with hard work. So yes, there might be a time too of more work, but that's because it's a door opening for you to step into and show some more skills that you've had all along or that you've been developing that are going to shine in this position and this next step of your life past that door. And like I said, I especially think a lot of it has to do with leadership, because that's what your spirit guide card here is saying, is like you're ready to take aim and you're ready to leap higher. Okay, you're ready to be a leader in some way, be that, you know, your own business based off of a hobby or another position at your company, or maybe even moving to a different company, making your own, right? Things like that. And let's see here, looking at your tarot cards. Yeah, it feels like the stagnancy so far has made you kind of sad because of that Five of Cups. Like I said, that's the card of grief. That's the card of, you know, especially being the middle card, it's the core central card. And I read that as a tarot reader as like that's the main emotion stemming throughout this entire reading, right? Is I've been sad, I've been grieving, I feel like all my cups are lost, everything's been spilled, right? And so maybe you've almost kind of given up hope on anything happening in this area of your life, right? And so that's maybe where the stagnancy has come from, is just feeling like, well, there's no point in even hoping for it because, well, nothing ever happens. I feel like this isn't going anywhere. However, that might apply to you, pile number ones. But like I said, the good news is that, yes, you're going to finally get that key to move beyond that Five of Cups energy of grief. And then the Devil reversed too is a fantastic card here because the Devil reversed is about freeing ourselves from things that bind us. You know, I'm trying to figure out what it was that was holding you back. Let me see here. I feel like the reason why there has been stagnancy up until this point, pile ones, is because there was something you needed to learn or grow with judgment. And maybe even just a little bit still. Like, I know at the time you come to this reading, I'm telling you, oh, that door is going to open, and it will, pile number ones, but there might be a little bit of a wait still, just a little bit, because this is the near future card with judgment. That's about, you know, progressing even higher, right? And so it's not quite the time to move forward on this yet, especially with the Three of Wands reversed, because that's like waiting before taking action on plans in the future. But you're almost on the cusp. You're in the stage right before this change is going to come into your life, pile number ones. Yes, you're almost there. So keep going. Keep going. I know it's hard because, especially if you've been working really hard at something, it feels like, oh, like it's never going to come to fruition. I'm frustrated. Those types of things, or sadness really is kind of what I see here with that Five of Cups. But it's something that will bring you a lot of happiness. It's something that will bring you a lot of, I mean, because not only do you have, with your honeysuckle here, domestic happiness and devoted affection, right? It's the card of something sweet. That's why it's called honeysuckle, is because it smells very sweet like honey, which is funny because you also got the bee, right? Something to do with bees and honey here is kind of a theme. Yeah, but well, that's why I think the Ten of Cups here is at the very beginning, because that was your goal, is like, I want happily ever after. Whatever that means to you, pile number ones. But it's just been a long struggle and a long road on the way there, and you're like, okay, well, when's my happily ever after? This is the goal I had in mind, you know, sunshine and rainbows, right? And unfortunately in life, yeah, sometimes it takes a lot of work and a lot of luck and a lot of time and waiting for the universe to return our energy to get to that happily ever after that we've been struggling for. But yep, after that time of freeing ourselves with the Devil reversed, and after the time of grief with the Five of Cups, and after just a little bit more time of growth here, pile number ones, that Three of Wands reversed will turn into an upright, and it'll be time to go forward with the plans that you've made when you get that key to success. Okay, the door is opening for you. And let's see. Let love be your beacon. I'm going to look at that card for just one moment. Apologies for a piece of silence. Let love be your beacon. Yeah, it's like it's something you love to do, and it feels like it's something. It's something where your heart will be able to light the way. I don't know if the thing that you've been doing before, you haven't really had your heart in it, and that's why you've been moving, like you've wanted to open this door into something where you actually can follow your heart more. But this new thing, after the time of growth and after the time of freeing yourself from the grief, right? When you get that key to open this door, it'll be something, like I said, about being actually able to follow your heart for once. You know, because in life, oftentimes, you know, we take jobs or we do certain things not because we want to do them, but because it's necessary. So, you know, your job might be something where, yeah, it puts food on the table, but it might not necessarily be your favorite thing to do. But yeah, it's like there's some change coming where you'll finally be able to follow your heart rather than just running away from, like, insecurity of material wealth, right? I mean, working a job just because you're like, well, I have to make money to keep the rain out of my soup, right? Or to buy the soup itself, right? Things like that. Pile number ones. Beautiful. I'm going to ask an extra question here as well, but I want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. Let's see, yeah, and leadership. Definitely a leadership type role with this. Yeah, the imagery I'm being shown is almost like for a while you've been running away from something, and now it's like it's almost like the point in, and I use writing metaphors a lot in my readings because I do write a lot in my own time. And the metaphor that keeps coming up for me with you pile ones is, when you read a story or you watch a story, depending on if it's a book or a movie, and like the first half of the story is the protagonist or the hero reacting to things. Like, here's the inciting incident. Like, we'll use Harry Potter as a very popular example. The inciting incident is Harry Potter gets the letter to Hogwarts, right? And the whole time he's been reacting up until that, like, the halfway point of the book to getting that letter from Hogwarts. And then at some point, he becomes, and all heroes do in their own stories, that's how at least Western literature is written, turns around to proactive, and instead of reacting, they're going after something rather than kind of going with the flow. I feel that's where you're at in your story as the hero of your own story, pile number ones. You're finally at that point of, okay, I've been gathering my arrows, I've been crafting my bow, and now I'm going to take a running leap, and I'm going to aim and I'm going to shoot that bow, and I'm going to go for a target rather than, like, reacting to everything. I'm going to be proactive, like I said, just to summarize. Yep. Beautiful. Yep. Successful outcome to a problem. 2, if you've also, part of your struggle has been related to, say, just for an example, you are running your own business and maybe sales have slowed a little bit. It feels like activity is going to ramp up. So that's also that shifting of energy from, like, slow reactive to, like, more proactive. Like economy is going to pick up with your particular business if that's you, or it could be, like, related to your job. There's going to be, like an increased activity of some sort that's going to bring more success and is going to bring more opportunities for you pile number ones. That's the change that's coming. Now, I do want to ask what the key is. I'm going to take a sip of my tea and grab my tarot deck again here. What is the key? Because I want you to know, like, how to look out for it. Like, what makes that change? Shuffle my tarot deck. There we go. Sorry, I'm shuffling it off screen, but I don't have a lot of room here. I don't want to mess up the cards. So, Spirit, for my lovely pile number ones, could you give me 3 cards about explaining what is the key to success, or, like, the key to the problem that they're having? Like, what should they look out for, I guess I should say. There we go. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So first up, we have the 2 of Cups reversed. Okay, that can mean disharmony. And then, let's see, that one was kind of coming out with it. With the Hermit reversed, something coming to light or out of its shell. Or you coming out of your shell, it could also mean. What's the key? And the Tower. Okay, so pile number ones. The key to this change, the key that's going to open that door we talked about, is it's kind of redundant because it's like the title of the video. There's a big change coming, though, because that's literally what the Tower is. The Tower in tarot is a moment of massive change, okay? Whatever area of your life this is in, be it romance, career, etc., there's a big, big change coming. And the reason for... It's interesting. So the 2 of Cups reversed is, like, disharmony in relationships, and then the Hermit reversed is, like, something coming out of its shell or coming to light, like coming out of the cave. So there's some aspect of this where I don't know if it's, like, if this is, like, a job-related thing, for example, there's some sort of disharmony there that makes something come to light or, like, forces someone out of their shell or something brought forth, because the Hermit reversed is, like, that energy of not being in stasis anymore. Once again, we have that theme of reactive versus proactive, right? And that brings about a lot of change. So, I mean, that's going to be different for every single one of you, because some of you, this will be work, some of you, this will be, like, relationships, some of you, this will be, like, family-related things or hobbies or goals, etc. But whatever it is, it's a really, really big change with the Tower. And it's because of a disharmony in some sort of relationship involved in this area of your life, and something coming out of its shell or coming to light. Something almost kind of waking up here, that it's been sleeping so far, but that disharmony is going to like bring it out, and then it'll be kind of that snowball effect down into the energy of the Tower, which in tarot, like I said, is the energy of upheaval and change. And a lot of people fear the Tower card because we see it and we're like, the traditional depiction of it is literally like a tower getting hit with lightning and like falling down and people like falling out of it. So it looks kind of scary on the tin, but especially in this case for you, pile number ones, I feel like this change is going to be very, very welcome, even though it might be a little surprising and sudden and a lot bigger than you expected at first, okay? So when that comes, pile number ones, don't be afraid. Don't be like, oh God, like it's an earthquake, everything's going to come crashing down. Because sometimes in order to invite new energy and open up new opportunities, the universe has to make things fall apart in certain areas or make things have massive upheaval to make room for those changes, okay? So just keep an eye out for that, and when the metaphorical kind of, earthquake, metaphorically, like I said, comes, just batten down the hatches. It's going to be okay, because it's going to lead to a lot of fantastic things for you, pile number ones. Just keep an eye out for disharmony in relationships with the Two of Cups reversed, and that'll be your first indicator that the change is coming. That's your key to opening that door, okay? Let's see, I don't think I missed anything. I'm going to ask for any last messages from your spirit team here. Apologies for just one moment of silence. Yeah, they keep saying something about hitting the target. It's kind of bringing up that archery metaphor again. Hitting the target. Hitting the target. Finally hitting the target. Interesting. Let's see, any other messages here. Okay, this is going to sound scary, pile number ones, but they're also saying something about avalanche. Like, it's going to be a very sudden boom, like, oh God, here comes the avalanche. Not scary avalanche, pile number ones, but it's like things have been really frozen and quiet, like a snowy mountainside for a while, and then all of a sudden you're going to hear that rumble, which is that Two of Cups reversed we talked about, the disharmony, things coming to light or coming out of their shell. And then you're going to hear that rumble and you're going to be like, okay, this is my opportunity, this is my key to a successful outcome to a problem that I've had. Okay, so avalanche was the key word, and hitting the target. It almost reminds me of that scene in Mulan where the Huns are coming down the hill, right, or down the snowy mountain, right, and she initially is like supposed to fire the cannon right at the Huns, but actually like she uses, and Mulan is very smart, right? That's her power, is the whole story is she uses her mind. She's very clever. She uses the cannon, instead of shooting at the Huns directly, she shoots up at the mountain, and that causes an avalanche that takes out like all of the Huns. So basically it like really makes up for the difference in numbers. So there's something about being clever about where you hit your target. I think that's why that Mulan reference came up for me, for you, pile number ones, is being very careful about where you shoot your cannon or where you shoot your bow when that time comes. Okay. And your target, like they're saying you'll hit it, and that's like part of what will enact this massive change. But yeah, just being very clever and wise about where you expend your energy and where you aim for. And like I said, the key is that disharmony in relationships when the time comes. That's your indicator. All right, well, I will leave you with that, my lovely pile number ones. Thank you so much for coming to my reading today. I hope everything was helpful. I hope that was good news for you to hear. And I hope you walk away with this reading with a smile on your face. Just remember, don't fear the change. The change is a good thing because it opens up an opportunity for you to hit the target you've been aiming for. Okay, so I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, pile number ones, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello there, my beautiful pile number 2s, my Primrose pile. Welcome to your pick a card reading today about what is ready to change in your life. So of course, right off the bat, we'll put your pile leader over here to the left like we usually do with our readings. And I already drew the oracle cards, and I will draw the tarot cards now on screen. So let's do that. Oopsie. This deck is a bit bigger, so I have a hard time getting a hold on it. There we go. Beautiful shuffle. Okay. Spirit, for my lovely pile number 2s, could you give me 5 tarot cards explaining more about what is ready to change in their life? Thank you. Okay, well, one already wants to pop out, looks like. Definitely that one. 2, 3, well, 3 and 4, they're coming out together. And I'm feeling that one, number 5. Let's unveil your cards, pile number 2s, and see what change is ready for you. Oopsie, there we go. So looking at your oracle cards for today from the Tea Leaf Oracle, or fortune cards, I should say, we have coins. Money will be coming to you. Lovely. Money will be coming to you. Well, that's a pretty good sign right off the start, right? Right off the bat. So maybe some financial change, we'll see. We have from the Woodland Wardens, it looks like a ladybug and the sweet pea. The ladybug and the sweet pea, happiness. Okay, pretty good so far. It's really good signs, pile number 2s. Look at that. I'm actually going to shift that just a bit. There we go. From the Ask Your Guides Oracle, you received solitude from higher self. Interesting. We have a lot about success and finances, and then we get solitude. There we go. And then from the Nature's Whispers Oracle, we received number 36, intuition. Put that one here. Oopsie. Everything is flying everywhere. And then looking at your tarot cards today, number 1, the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Sometimes indicates needing to take more action in terms of finances, right? The material things around us, or things not going fast enough for us, right? There we go. Already have kind of a financial theme coming here. We'll see what else pops out. Number 2, the 8 of Wands reversed. Okay, we have another card that indicates like speed. The 8 of Wands reversed is about things going slower. It's almost kind of like the Knight of Pentacles energy. Things happening slowly. Interesting. Number 3, we have the 10 of Wands. This is the card of burdens. And being the central card, it seems maybe there's been a financial burden in your life recently. I won't get too far in the weeds yet, but... Number 4, we have the Empress reversed. Okay, lack of nurturing or feeling a lack of fertility in some area of your life. Maybe a little barrenness in finances, maybe. We'll see what else pops out. And last but not least, we have the Ace of Wands reversed. Feeling a lack of a spark. Feeling like we're not getting quite the inspiration or the willpower or the creativity maybe for something. So apologies for just a moment of silence, my lovely pile 2s, as I take a sip from my lavender tea and look over your cards here. Beautiful. And youthful love. Yeah, so pile number 2s. I definitely see in your past, there's a lot of energy in the past cards here. That Knight of Pentacles reversed and is the 8 of Wands reversed, about slowness. Sometimes the Knight of Pentacles reversed can represent So in the positive aspect, when it's upright, it represents someone going slow and steady in a positive way. Reversed, it's something going almost too slow and taking too much time. And that's really emphasized by having the Eight of Wands reversed right next to it, because that card is also about things happening slowly. So I feel like there's something in your life recently that's really been kind of been being like a pain in the neck for you, a really big burden, especially with that Ten of Wands being the central card, where whatever it is for you specifically, it's been going really slow, and you're like snapping your fingers like, come on, pick up the pace, come on, hurry up. That type of feeling. You wanted it to just jet speed ahead, because so far it's been like glacier ice slow. You have, like I said, basically the two cards in the tarot deck that are about slowness, right? And so you're sitting there, you're tapping your fingers, you're like, come on, I want this burden off of my back. And interestingly enough, too, you have the Empress reversed with the Ace of Wands reversed, and that also speaks of like a lack of, it's like it hasn't been the fertile ground for this thing to pick up quite yet. And so you're almost like losing your spark. You're like, okay, well, should I just give up on this thing? Like, should I do something else? Like, should I just not even have hope of it coming? And, solitude is a really interesting card here. That's about being kind of within ourselves, being away from others. It could have been like a slowness in your social life, or like a slowness in your, especially with coins being, successful money outcome, right? Money will be coming to you. Because sometimes a lack of money can lead to a lack of like being able to go out, because unfortunately in our world, a lot of things when it comes to social situations require money, right? Same thing too with anything else that we want to do in life. Oftentimes money is the key to opening a door to the things that we want to do, like, be it start a new business, hanging out with people out in like social settings where money is required, things like that. So I feel like there's been a lot of loneliness recently too, with your particular reading here. But the good news is, pile number 2s, is that this is the change that's coming, all right? This is what's going to shift in your life soon, is that this energy of stagnancy and this energy of feeling like things aren't happening fast enough, whatever the burden has been to you, and I think because of the coins for most of you, it's maybe a financial burden, right? That's going to change, okay? That, is going to become, you're going to have a little bit more financial stability, a little bit more financial success with whatever it is that you've been feeling has been slow lately. Like money, it's almost like money hasn't been coming in fast enough. I don't know if maybe you got like cheated out of pay for something, or maybe your particular job is related to like commissions or like people ordering things on a case-by-case basis, and maybe like those have not been coming in, like orders have been slow depending on the type of job you have, of course. But it feels like whatever it is, it's going to not only like bring in more financial success here and material success in general, and happiness too, because you got the ladybug and the sweet pea. Happiness, which, especially if you've been having financial struggles, that changing around can change around your happiness, right? Because, things are a lot less stressful when we have more money to live on. We don't have to worry so much about like, where am I going to get my next paycheck, things like that. It's also going to bring you out of your shell more. So maybe a little bit more of like social life from this change, maybe because you have more money to actually like, go out with people, things like that. But it's also going to bring you out of your shell more, where I feel like it's going to, you're going to be interacting with people more, especially if this is like a gig-based type job or order-based type job. Yeah, but even if it isn't a job related that applies to you, pile number 2s, because I know all of us are different. Some of us are, between jobs right now. Some of us are retired too. It's going to bring more financial success in general. Beautiful here. And then let me look at the Empress and the Wands again here. Apologies for just another moment of silence while I take a sip. Yeah, the Empress reversed and the Ace of Wands reversed. Yeah, it's like I'm really drawn here to the rings in the tree. And the rings in a tree trunk tell you what kind of year that how old it is, number one, but it also tells you what kind of year it had based on the shape of the ring or like the size of it. So like a tree that had a really, really great growing year will have like a wider ring, right? And then a drought year, typically the ring is very small. And I feel like you've been having a lot of drought years, and that's why you've almost kind of given up on this thing changing. But now, especially at the last ring here, feels like it's a lot wider than the others. It's like, finally, this time it's going to be like a more prosperous year where it's not a drought. Like, things are going to be finally changing for you in terms of the flow, okay? Or like we think of rain too as like a gift from the heavens, right? And when rain comes, it's like, okay, well now things can be lush and fertile and turn that empress reversed around into upright. You need water and rain, metaphorically speaking, of course, to make things grow, okay? And so it's like this change is this deluge of, I've been in this desert for so long, I've been in this drought for so long, and now finally the rains are coming. It's like the switch from like the dry to the wet season, metaphorically speaking, for you, pile number 2. It's beautiful. Pretty straightforward reading, yeah. I do want to ask some extra questions for you, like I did pile number 1's, though, and then looking at your intuition here. There's something about... well, you know what? I'm going to ask an extra question about the intuition card as well. I'm going to ask 2 extra questions for you, pile number 2's, because you have been so straightforward. Basically, it's like, hey, your finances are going to change and things are going to be great, right? So it's not too much for me to really expand on different messages here, so I'll ask extra for you to make good use of our time together. Let me shuffle my deck here. So let's see. Spirit, for pile number 2's, first I'm going to ask, can you expand more on the intuition card? What do you mean by intuition? What should they be looking out for with their intuition, or what's the general indication with that? Can you give me 3 cards about, please? Thank you. Okay, well, that one for sure. That one went flying. Jesus. Okay, so first up we have the 8 of Swords. Or I'm sorry, that's the Knight of Swords reversed. Okay, let's see. Lack of taking action with our mind, with our thoughts. And then this one came out kind of this way. Ooh, let's see, I'm going to shift these a bit. We have the 5 of Pentacles reversed. Okay. Literally the card of overcoming hard financial times. Remember I was talking about the drought and the rain coming, pile number 2's? Literally this koala is in a drought. He's like, where the heck is my eucalyptus? I need to eat, right? Boom, here comes the storm. I was just talking about that metaphor. I swear to God, like, you heard me. Beautiful. Overcoming hard times, and then I want this 3rd card here. We have the World, something coming to an end. Okay, and I asked, can they expand on your intuition cards? So let me see how to interpret those together. I feel like you almost kind of know deep down that this is coming to an end, this time of drought, pile number 2's, but because it's been so hard for so long, you're almost kind of denying it. Does that make sense, pile number 2's? Because you have the World, which is the card of endings, something coming to a close, right? It's the last of the major arcana. And then you have the very, very pertinent 5 of Pentacles reversed, when the koala finally gets the rain that makes his eucalyptus tree come back, right, that he can eat. Overcoming financial issues is what the 5 of Pentacles reversed means. And then, like, those make total sense. But what's interesting to me here is that Knight of Swords reversed. And the Knight of Swords is like a lack of taking action with the mind. There's something with your intuition in this area that you're not listening enough to. And I feel like, yeah, it's like you almost feel like you know that this is coming, but it's because it's been a drought for so long, you're like, well, I'm not going to believe, I'm not going to get my hopes up, I'm just going to, if I have low expectations, I'll never be disappointed, right? But the reason why they're telling you to really pay attention to your intuition and turn that Knight of Swords around is because there's something you have to look out for that will help you bring in this financial security or success a little bit faster, or like it'll be your key to getting there, okay? So there's something with your intuition you need to listen for when that time comes. Pile number 2's. Yeah, beautiful. Like I said, I was just talking about the drought metaphor, and it's literally like a card of a koala waiting for the rain on a dry savanna where the eucalyptus tree died, but okay. And then the second question I want to ask for you, pile number 2, is what is the success coming? I know technically we talked about like money, right? But I want to get more details about what it is that's coming in that's so successful for you. Like what's changing other than just, the straightforward money, right? Spirit, could you give me 3 cards about explaining more about like what success is coming their way in like this financial area or like material wealth, please? Thank you. 3 cards. Or around there, I should say, because sometimes, okay, well, there's 2. Okay, well, oh boy, that looks like 4. Yes, okay, so we actually have 4 cards for this answer. Let me very carefully pick everything up. I want to make sure I don't mix up anything. There we go. Okay, so the first one was the Page of Wands. Okay, exploring our passions and our creativity. So more opportunities to explore passions of ours with the Page of Wands. And also, it's funny, he's holding a dandelion, and dandelions are associated with wishes. Okay, so maybe a wish you've been having for a long time, and you're like, oh, please, please, wishing on a star for it, blowing on a dandelion to make your wish. Something you've been wishing for. The Hanged Man is about different perspectives on things. Interesting. It's almost kind of like a complete flip of what it was before, because the Hanged Man usually in the traditional depiction is like he's hanging upside down, so he's seeing things from like a completely new view. And then we have the Ace of Swords reverse. Sometimes that can mean like a lack of ideas. And then we'll talk about that contextually with the Four of Swords, which is rest. Yeah, so it's almost like you've had to be really clever so far with the way that you've been trying to deal with your finances, especially with the Ace of Swords reversed, because it's like now the success coming in is not only like wishes granted, Page of Wands, more time for creativity. So maybe more money to like do your hobbies or the things that you're passionate about, and a whole different like perspective shift on life with the Hanged Man, but you've had to be so clever for so long. And so now with the Ace of Swords reversed, it's almost telling me, okay, now you can put that to rest and you don't have to be so clever because this financial success will be coming in a little bit easier. And then especially with the Four of Swords here at the end, that's the card of rest, right? We have 2 mallards who are resting in I think it's a caldera, technically it's called. It's like a dormant volcano crater. We'll just call it like a lake, right? Been flying for a while, things have been hard, they've been trying to migrate, trying to get away from the lack, or like, the winter as we call it, right? That's why birds migrate. And now they're in this lush, verdant area, and they're like, okay, we're just gonna rest here. And that's what I feel like for you, pile number 2, is finally getting some rest after a lot of struggle here, especially like we talked about. The court card earlier was the Ten of Wands, which is the card of burdens, right? That's why there's a donkey on it, because we think of donkeys or mules as like the beasts of burden. They have to hold a lot on their backs, and now it's like, okay, I'm Atlas, I've been holding up the world, and now I can finally put the world down, and I can finally take a rest. So pretty straightforward reading today, pile number 2. So I'm going to take another drink of my tea. I'm going to ask if there's any intuitive messages coming through as I do that. So apologies just for a moment of silence here. I keep hearing the word wicked for some reason. I don't know if that has any relevance to any of you, but I keep hearing the word wicked. I don't know what that's about. That's very, very random, but let's see, wicked. Interesting. Let's see if there's anything else here, any messages. There's also something about flipping a coin and it landing on heads. Is another message for you, which once again, I know it sounds very random, but hopefully at least for some of you that sounds relevant to something going on in your life. Flipping a coin, or a quarter I should say, and it landing on heads. So wicked, coin flip on heads. Those are the 2 intuitive messages coming through with your reading. A bit mysterious, but yeah. And just remember pile number 2 is with that intuition, like we talked about. Keep an eye out for that change from drought to rain. Keep an eye out for that. So overall, just a really beautiful reading, pile number 2. So I was really glad to be able to, bring such good news of change, especially if you've been struggling financially a lot, right? It's not fun going through the time of long drought, of not having your eucalyptus to eat, like the koala, right? But it seems that it really is changing here for you. A lot of happiness, a lot of financial security compared to before. A lot of growth, and finally, some rest after having to migrate a lot, having to move away from winter, metaphorically speaking. We're going into the spring of your life, pile number 2. Okay. Lovely. So that is what I will leave you with today, my beautiful pile 2s. As always, I hope that reading was helpful for you. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. If you liked the reading, if it was helpful for you, please like, comment, and or subscribe if you have not subscribed yet. And I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, pile 2s. Hello there, my beautiful pile number 3s, my Hyacinth pile. Welcome to your pick a card reading today about what is ready to change in your life. So first off, with the pile leader, we always put that over to the left by our big golden pine cone. And I already drew your oracle cards, but we will draw tarot cards on screen as always. So let's do that right now. So Spirit, for my lovely pile 3s, could you give me 5 different tarot cards explaining more about what is ready to change in their life for the better? Thank you. Oh my god. Like a whole pile just like slapped out. Okay, we'll see how many cards that is. I think it's 3, but just like your own plop. Okay, I think that's 3. Might be 4. Is that 4? It's 4, literally. Okay, so we literally only need to pick one card. Let's see what is... Well, probably that one is sticking out the most, so we'll pick that one. Well, that was probably the easiest tarot drawing today. Everything was just like, bloop, there I am. Okay. Let's reveal your oracle cards, pile number 3. So, first up from the Tea Leaf Fortune cards, you received the bag. Something important, such as a new job or a raise. Okay, that's pretty good off the bat, right? Something important, such as a new job or a raise. I mean, that's, yeah, pretty good so far. We'll see what else pops out. We have from the Woodland Wardens Oracle, looks like the Bobcat and the Blackthorn, patience. Being patient with things. All right, so we're going to actually switch that a bit around here, give it some grip to hold on to the table. Here we go. From the Ask Your Guides Oracle, we received opposition, nature spirits. So opposition, patience, something important such as a new job or a raise. Okay. And then last but not least for the oracle cards, we have from Nature's Whispers, number 9, perfect setting. Pretty interesting. Very varied type of cards for you today, pile 3s. So actually it might be more than one change. We'll see. I'm going to have your tarot cards come out and then we'll talk about it. But first up from tarot, we have the Two of Swords, making a choice on where to go. What choice do we make? Okay, so something about a choice. Interesting. 2, we have the Ten of Pentacles reversed. Something not passing down to us or feeling like not financially fulfilled in some way. This card is kind of tricky. It usually kind of, at least for me, depends on the cards around it. It can also mean something to do with inheritance, but... Third up, we have the Chariot reversed, feeling like something has been out of our control. Okay, and this being the central card of the reading, it's like the general emotion guiding what's been going on up until this point. So I would say pile number 3 so far, an indicator about what this change is going to be about is something to do with something that's felt out of control recently. Okay, then we have the Queen of Pentacles, internal material security. We have the Bear, right? Beautiful. Autumn colors. A lot of autumn colors in this reading. Okay. And then last but not least, we have the Moon reversed. Illusions revealed. Illusions made truths. Interesting reading. This is a fascinating reading, pile number 3. You're definitely the most unique today. The other two piles are pretty straightforward, but you have a really, really cool reading so far. So I'm going to take just a few sips of my tea and look over your cards and put together a cohesive message based on what came out just now. So apologies just for a few moments of silence, okay? What change is coming? See, things have been out of control. Oh, okay. Finally popped out at me, pile threes. Once again, apologies just for how quiet I was there for a few seconds, but I'm being told, based on your cards here, there's been an area of your life where, well, like we already said, the central feeling has been like something's been out of control, that with the Chariot reversed. It feels like you were going along and you're like, I'm so ready to do this thing, or so ready to go after this goal or make this change, right? And all of a sudden it feels like the reins got out of your hands and it's just been kind of a loose, wild horse for a while, okay? That's what's leading up to this change, okay? And so I think what happened was that you made a choice, and it feels like maybe you're realizing or feeling like you made a bad choice. And I think it was a choice towards either it was something that you gave someone else or passed down to somebody else, or like was going to be passed down to you. So it could be something related to inheritance, especially with that Ten of Pentacles reversed pile number threes. But it could also be something in terms of like finances or like your job in general with that Ten of Pentacles, because yeah, sometimes it's the inheritance card legacy. Sometimes I read it also as fulfillment in finances because it's the 10, right? Whatever it was, though, it feels like you made the wrong choice. And so now you're like, oh my God, it's out of my control. I don't know what to do. I don't know, like, how am I going to fix this? How am I going to get my hands back on those reins and bring everything and tame that wild horse down to a manageable level, right? Okay, that's the background for this reading. Now, what I am seeing for you in terms of the change is that there is something coming that's going to make things a lot more manageable, especially in terms of if this is related to your finances or just material security with the Queen of Pentacles here. For some of you, it could manifest literally like in like a job, right? It could also manifest in terms of where you live, because you do have perfect setting, and perfect setting is about the area around you, right? So sometimes this can mean that's like related to security with your home. I don't know, maybe you bought a house or rented a place and it's been kind of a pain in the butt because there was maybe some flaws with it that you didn't realize until you moved in and you're like, oh crap, like I had no idea that this thing was wrong, or like this thing was broken, and now I've been having a lot of problems, right? Or it could also manifest in a way of like, what's another great tangible example for some of you? Could be maybe you had a choice between two different jobs to take or two different paths to take, and you took one choice and you were like, oh crap, I should have taken the other one. And so for all of you, this is going to be different as a general reading as to how it applies. Like some could be a house, some could be a job, some could be like a goal, or something to do with inheritance. But in general, it's like you had two choices, you took a choice, and there was a bit of a slip up of, uh-oh. But what's changing, pile number three, is that that opposition is going to change, okay? Whatever it is that's been plaguing you after having made this choice, that frustration and that blockage and what's kind of slowing energies down in this area of your life is going to calm down a bit. Things are going to become a lot slower in a positive way, especially there with the Bobcat and Blackthorn is about patience, okay? So things are slowing down, right? It's not so zip, 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 you know, the complete reins are out of my hands. It's more, okay, now I can take a breath. Now everything is calming down. Now everything is going to be a lot more calm. And number one, more secure with the Queen of Pentacles here in the near future, right? The Queen of Pentacles is the internal security of the material, right? Being happy with what you have. Okay, so that's going to change from oh crap to okay, now it's fine, right? Also, the Moon reversed is about, as the outcome card, it's about an illusion being revealed for what it really is, okay? The Moon is realizing truths, at least reversed it is. It's about illusions being broken. And so there's also some truth coming out here alongside this change about either the job you took or the place that you're living in. There's going to be, or however that applies to you, pile number 3 is, like I said, some of you could be a job, some of you could be a house, some of you could be something completely different, but still applicable in the overall theme, right? Either way, no matter how it applies to you, there's some truth being revealed here with that moon reversed, okay? And it's going to make things a lot clearer. It's also going to make things a lot easier for you, and it's going to bring in and usher that change of zoom, 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 everything out of my control. It's just a complete disaster tornado into, okay, the tornado's over. I can pick up the pieces. I can slowly build. Everything's going to be just fine. The opposition is going to kind of come to a close, okay? And number 2 here with the bag, something important such as a new job or a raise. It's not just going to slow down and get better, pile number 3s. The change is also bringing about a time of a lot more prosperity, okay? So it could be that maybe something happens with where you're currently at with your job, and like, so let's say you did choose between 2 different jobs and you think you made the bad choice. Either the job you're in right now is going to like calm down finally and improve, or it could be there could be an opportunity to move back to that other job for some reason. It could be maybe something happens at your current job where like maybe the company goes defunct or something, and then like the opportunity is still open for the other job, or another job is similar, it opens up, things like that. Or it could be like if this is like a house for you, just as an example, there's some, I don't know what that would be, but it's like there's some opportunity opening up, something new coming here with that bag. Something important. Yeah, such as a new job or a raise. Something prosperous coming out of it, no matter how it applies to you, pile number 3. So not just more peaceful, but also prosperous, which is a beautiful change after what seems like it's been kind of a hectic time here, right? Everything's been kind of off the rails. Things like that, pile 3s. Let's see, anything else before I want to ask extra questions for you as I did for the other piles today. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything with the initial cards here, so I'm just going to take a sip of my tea again. It also feels like with that opposition card that maybe during this time of tumultuousness, like there's been someone opposing you in some way. It could be like someone at a job that's been getting in your way, or with the place that you live, if this is how it applies to you, it could be that like someone, like maybe your landlord hasn't been helping you make things better, like maybe they're just neglecting repairs, and that can make your house not so great, or your apartment, or wherever you live, pile 3s, or just in general, however this applies to you, it's like someone's been opposing you and it's been just a pain in your butt, and you're like, God, I just want this blockage out of my way, and like it would be a lot easier if they were just not a pain in my butt, and like that kind of frustrated feeling, right? And like maybe that's kind of where the chaos has been coming from, pile 3s, is this person that's been opposing you, right? Like it feels like every step you take, they take the opposite step. So like if this is like a landlord where you're like, hey landlord, the rent I pay you, my sink isn't working anymore, can you fix that? And it feels like every single time you ask, like they were like, oh no, I gotta do something else first. And like it's like every time you ask, there's opposition in your way. But that's what's gonna change, is that finally that's gonna get out of the way. Finally the things are gonna get fixed. Finally whatever choice you made is going to feel like, okay, maybe it wasn't such a bad choice, because now I'm in a good place. There was a bit of a rocky start. Yeah. So I want to ask what the change is in terms of, like, where does it lead for you, pile number 3s? So we know the change is to peace and to, like a lot more prosperity, but I want to know like what exactly it is it's leading to. Spirit, for pile 3s, could you tell me like where is this change leading to? Okay, thank you. 3 cards or so. Where is the change leading to besides just, like we said, the standard peace and prosperity, right? But we want more specificity. So the star reversed is about having lacked hope or faith in something. We'll see what else pops out with it to get more context. We have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords can be deception or trickery. Interesting. And then we have the Four of Cups reversed. Interesting. Paying attention to something. Once again, we have that feeling of like truth revealed here. We had that with the Moon reversed earlier, but the Four of Cups is a lot also about like finally paying attention to something or not being apathetic about something. It's like whoever has not been paying attention, like say if it is your landlord, it's like finally they're going to start paying attention, or maybe someone else steps in that's a better landlord if that applies to you. Something like that. But yeah, deception and trickery. That's interesting. Where does this change lead to? You know, for a lot of you where I feel like you where you felt like you made a bad choice with that initial Two of Swords here. It's like you felt like there was no hope left in achieving what you wanted to achieve after you made that choice, and you felt like you made a bad choice. And that's what's deceptive about it, is that actually you did make the right choice. And that's where part of this change is leading you to, is helping you realize, oh, actually I did make the good choice in the end. Like, I almost wonder if the other choice was like, I always say this cliche on my channel. It's a cliche in the spiritual community where we always say rejection is divine protection. I feel like the other choice that you feel right now might have been a better one because of how many struggles you've been having here. Actually would not have been a better choice in the end because of that Seven of Swords. And like part of where this change is leading is to you realizing, okay, things have been deceptive, things haven't been quite clear, especially with the Moon, illusions revealed, right? And now, like, what I was hoping or aiming for with that other choice that I felt was better that I didn't take will actually... maybe I did make actually it's not not an it's a great thing, but had you gone with that other choice, it would have been an of, oh crap, now this is the bad path. So things are deceiving, pile number 3s. What seems bad right now actually is the better path for you because of something not really being as it seems. That's kind of what they're telling me. And that's, so where this change is leading to answer the end question of, when I pulled the cards specifically, is the change is leading to realizing that something has been deceiving. Okay. And something is, going to be paid more attention here with that Four of Cups reversed. Interesting reading here. Yeah, hopes and faiths are deceiving, paying attention. Lack of apathy. Yeah, it's just like you haven't... And I feel like the answers are there now. Like, you could realize what it was that's deceiving, but it's just like you haven't been paying attention because you've been so caught up in the chaos and the metaphorical tornado we talked about with the choice you did make here. And finally, when that calms down, we get that peace and that prosperity, right? Then you're going to have time to realize, okay, well, wait a minute, maybe I actually did make the better choice in the end here. Yeah. Let's see if there's any other questions I want to ask for you, because we do still have some time, pile number 3s. I want to know, I'm going to ask more about that opposition. What's going to happen to that opposition? I want to get more insight on that. Spirit, for my lovely pile 3s, could you give me about 3 cards or so explaining more about the opposition and where that's leading? Like, especially if it's someone who's been opposing pile number 3s. What's happening with that after the change? Like, where does that go? What's this opposition going to do? What's that all about? Let's see here. The Page of Cups, exploring our emotions. We have the Six of Wands reversed, lack of victory. And the Hierophant reversed, newness, breaking traditions. Okay, so pile 3s, if there has been a person opposing you in this situation that's been causing issues, well, number 1, they're not going to win. With the Six of Wands reversed, that's a lack of victory, right? And then the Hierophant reversed is like bucking traditions or like letting go of the way things have always been. Someone's going to get knocked down a peg here, whoever has been opposing you with that opposition. they're not going to win. Yeah, and that Page of Cups is interesting. Well, the Page of Cups can also be interpreted as a surprise. It doesn't always necessarily mean exploring our emotions. It can be, in the traditional depiction of the Page of Cups from the Rider-Waite-Smith, like the stereotypical tarot deck you think of when you think of tarot, the page is holding a cup and literally like a fish pops out of it. So that's why it sometimes can be interpreted as like an emotional surprise. So, much to your surprise, pile number 3s, whoever is opposing you, or whatever force has been opposing you, be it a person or just something in the universe, whatever it is, to your surprise, it's not going to win, and the tradition is going to be broken in that area, okay? Whatever has been going on for a long time is finally going to get let go of, and it's going to lose. The thing that's been opposing you or causing you some issues. Or person, I should say. Could also be a person. So don't give up quite yet. You are on the path to, like I said, peace and prosperity, pile number 3s. Things are going to turn out just okay. There might still be a little bit of time of that chaos as everything is settling down, but now it feels like finally the change in your life that's coming, that's ready to change, is, okay, chaos into, okay, peace. Things are great. And whoever has been opposing you, or the opposition you've been running into, is finally going to sleep. It's going to go away, or it's not going to win, okay, depending on how that applies to you, right? Yeah, so like I said, if it's a house you've been having issues with, those things will calm down. If it's a person you've been having issues with, those things will calm down. If it's like a job choice that you made, in the end, no matter what, like whatever choice you made, you'll realize that it was the right choice in the end. It's just things were kind of deceiving at first, okay? Things were not as they seemed, and everything's going to turn out just fine in the end. Pile number 3. So that is what I will leave you with today for your reading. As always, I hope that reading was helpful for you. If you liked that reading, if it resonated, please like, comment, and or subscribe if you have not yet. Helps the channel out, helps me bring more readings to you. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading, pile number 3. So, okay? Bye.